Okay.
All right. Hello, everybody. NTMA Productions back on camera for the first time since the review of Solo, where I tried to re-record it after I re-reviewed the movie.
How'd that go, by the way?
I dropped the camera and I accidentally kicked it against the wall, and then I tried to dive to save it, and it got smashed on the cement. So that was our camera. But now Grant lent us this camera so that we could do our beautiful roundup of the 2020 2019 film roundup.
Are you gonna blur that, or are you keeping that?
Blur it. No, it's fine.
Obama.
We had
Curtis.
a lot of movies we watched this year, but not nearly as much as normal because I refuse to watch all the dog shit I would normally watch.
I watched a lot of extra dog shit.
I watched 7 movies.
2020, we're coming back with a vengeance. First off, we have our special guest, camera lender, lights provider, documentarian Grant Newkirk.
Grant fucking
Newkirk of Grant the Hermaphrodite Productions, or whatever his YouTube channel's name is.
Hierophant.
Grant the Hermaphrodite.com. So Grant, since we're gonna, as always, this is your first time watching.
Why are you mugging for the camera like that?
Why am I mugging?
You're like,
I'm being the newscaster right now, bro.
First time, you were saying?
First time news, man. Vape Tricks back in HD, high definition, 3D. This blue is. We're shooting this on a 3D IMAX camera. So Grant, because you've actually seen this film, and you haven't seen many films in this.
What order are we doing these movies in?
As always, we're gonna do these films best to worst, because it's always funnier to roast the worst ones. In my opinion, it's more interesting to know the worst movies.
Yeah.
Last. There's more anticipation on what our most dog shit movie of the year is.
You might want to say that line again because I was coughing through all of it.
Something. We're gonna learn the worst movie last. So let's get into it. Grant, since you've actually seen this movie, our number one pick for the year was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Quentin Tortellini movie.
Was it?
That changed the world.
That's the one that ended up in first. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's not like it had tough competition.
Grant, it's been a rough year for movies.
Grant, what's your
Star Wars movie?
Yeah, we did get another Star Wars movie. What's new? So, Grant, what are your thoughts? Your thoughts first on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Why is it the best movie of the year?
Why?
I liked it because Curtis is in the camera.
Curtis, come here, baby.
Curtis,
you're so cute. Come here.
I'll hold you like a baby for a little bit.
I liked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because it did feel like a director had an idea for a movie and he made a movie, and I miss that because you don't see that anymore. It's
as you'll see on most of our movies this year. Lots of sequels.
Late sequels are like the bane of Hollywood right now.
Not even late sequels.
If I could
necessarily. Grant even said, didn't all these movies come out in 2017? And then Aiden responded with, no, the last chapter of these movies came out in 2017, which seems pretty accurate to what we've received this year. We do have a lot of late sequels, though, too.
See, if I have to knock a few points off Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin, he got some of his trademarks in. He got the blood. He got the feet.
Yeah.
Sexy.
But there wasn't a scene where Quentin Tarantino came on camera himself to say...
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Was he an extra at one point and he just said the N word?
He just mouthed really quietly.
He was just like... It was just dubbed over.
Alright.
Like a whisper, 1%.
Bleeps are going to go in there. Let's just pretend we don't all know what that word was.
I got a cough again. I'm dying.
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Pretty solid movie. Any other thoughts on that one, boys?
It was weird. Okay, it was weird when the feet showed up, right?
Right, as always.
Yeah, that was so wrecked.
Because the context was he was driving the hippie girl back to the commune, and she just does...
Well, no, there was also the scene with Sharon Tate whipping off her feet, whipping off her shoes in the theater.
When was that?
When she's watching her own movie in the theater, and she's
Oh,
And
yeah,
that
that-
stinky
that
feet
scene
all
is
over the camera
awkward
lens.
for
He's just
so
like-
many reasons because her dirty ass feet are
It's
in
true.
this, are front and center. First off, it's the focus of the shot, but also the fact that Margot Robbie is in it, watching her film, but it's clearly the original Sharon Tate film
I didn't
on
notice.
screen, so it looked a little bit different. It wasn't too
You
bad
didn't
because
notice
Sharon
the
Tate
feet
was
taking
already
up
in
a third
con-
of the screen?
I noticed the feet, not
That's
the
what
fact
the
it was
feet were
reused.
for. That's what the feet were for,
To
because to
distract you.
block Margot Robbie's face so it was less obvious.
Yeah,
That-
everyone in the audience would be so preoccupied jerking off to her feet they wouldn't notice the faces
Exactly.
didn't match.
I didn't notice till the second or third watch through that was the case because I was so busy jerking off to them.
Exactly.
Well,
exactly.
the thing is, I really liked the movie just because
Of the feet.
it
The
was
feet.
no, because it was like
Oh.
a structured movie. It was really nice. It felt good.
It
The
had
dialogue
good
was
action.
spot on.
It had good feet,
Brad Pitt did a great job. Good job.
action, and
You did
feet,
good.
bro.
I like when he beamed that girl in the
Feet.
face with the dog food.
Oh yeah, and they smashes her head in the fireplace. Quentin Tarantino does a great job with alternate history. That's why I still like his movies. Like Inglourious Basterds, they kill Hitler. This, they killed the Mansons.
Right.
Okay, well,
Next film.
number 2 is Parasite, a movie only I saw because I'm the only person who saw movies this year.
What was Parasite about?
It's a Korean movie, and it's about a poor family that they leech off a rich family.
Parasite. Okay.
And to say more is hard because technically there's not much going on beyond that. I mean, there's a lot more going on beyond that. It's a really smart movie. It's also in Korean, so if you don't like reading, you're probably not going to be able to watch that movie.
Are you saying you're a weeaboo? You like subs over dubs?
It's Korean, not Japanese, you racist. But yeah, subs are superior to dubs 99% of the time.
So it's about a poor family and a leeching off a rich family?
Yeah, but the rich family aren't that good either.
How's it end? You could just bleep it out, just a little on bleep.
Let's see.
You cover your ears if you don't want to spoil
There's a
it.
second poor family living in the basement because the old maid, they got all the staff from the rich family fired so that they could leech off them better.
Right.
And the maid had her husband living in the bomb shelter that the rich family didn't know about.
What?
Because he was being chased by tax collectors. Not tax collectors, debt collectors.
Okay.
Loan sharks.
Okay.
Who wanted to break his knees and stuff.
That
And then,
sounds good.
let's see. The old maid gets pushed down the stairs and dies. And then the guy running from the debt collectors gets out of the basement. And he starts stabbing people.
What pick was this again? Number 2?
Yeah. It's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
I heard
There you
good
go.
things about it.
Moving on.
Connor.
Number 3 is our first sequel of the day. John
First of
Wick
many.
3. I mean, I don't think there's a ton to say about this. It's another John Wick movie.
He
John
shoot
Wick
people.
is out for a vengeance and he shoots people. And they set it up for John Wick 4. My only hope is that John Wick 4 is the end. Because they set it up like number 4 could be the climax. They'll probably continue it since it's going to make money. But
Yeah.
Do you think it would be okay to make a 4th, though?
I think so, but in all honesty, John Wick, after seeing John Wick 2, I thought it was great, and then I wish they stuck to John Wick 1.
Okay.
After seeing John Wick 3, I thought it was great, and then I wish they only made John Wick 1. So I'm
Yeah.
guessing I'll see John Wick 4, think it was great, but wish they just made John Wick 1. Because
They're
John
fun, though.
Wick
You
1
get to-
stands on its own, but John
Yeah.
Wick 2 and 3 just feel like extensions. Like, what if this movie was actually 6 hours long instead of 2?
Yeah.
And the next
okay,
one's
pretty
gonna
much.
be, what if this movie was 8 hours long instead of 2?
Oh, the scene in the knife store at the start of John Wick 3 is really great.
Do you think? they're
and it
just
was
gonna-
far superior to 2.
Do you think they're just gonna keep making them? Do you think it's
Yeah,
gonna
why
turn
not?
into Die Hard or like fucking Land Before Time?
I think they'll
Doesn't
kill
the
it
next
off
one release on the
if-
same day as Matrix 4? John Wick
Yeah,
4,
John Wick
Matrix
4 and
Curtis.
Matrix 4 until Matrix stands down inevitably.
Why
Yeah,
are you on our
probably.
set?
That is the case.
Do you so you think it's gonna go on a while?
I think it'll go on until it stops making money. or
Introduce
they
our number
have
4
the balls
movie,
to
Grant.
Yeah.
Say it without laughing.
Cut you right the fuck off. What is number 4?
Look under John Wick 3. What does that say?
Where is John Wick 3? Okay, The Wall.
Number 4 is Doug Walker's The Wall.
It's Nostalgia Critics The Wall.
It was
one
the
of-
best movie I've ever
It's
seen.
the best
It's
movie
one
I've
of
ever
those
seen.
films
That's why it's
that
number
are.
4.
It's a remake, but it's so far better than the original. Like when the original is so shitty that it just needs to be remade. To
I
be
really
good.
like
That's what they did.
the
and
part-
that's what makes it truly magnificent.
I
in
like
my
the part
eyes.
with the iPhones, the walking iPhones, and I also like that guy's furry
Alright.
OC avatar thing
The
that
weird
I
CG.
like when
becomes
what was
the
it,
main
Slipknot
character for,
guy
like-
shows up.
Oh yeah, and he
Slipknot
plays,
guy's the main character.
and he plays the SpongeBob theme. That's
Yes,
really
he does.
funny, and I laughed a lot at that.
Well, he only has one line in the movie. For the first 40 minutes of Nostalgia Critics The Wall, he doesn't have any lines. And then he says, "This wasn't even a review, you just made a remake." And Doug says, "Yeah." And then he
And-
says, "What'd you think of the movie?" And Doug says, "I thought it was alright."
He sums it
And then
up
he's like,
in
"We
one
need to play a
sentence.
really good song." And then he goes, and then they play the SpongeBob theme.
Slipknot plays the SpongeBob theme.
And it's
Slipknot
really
featuring
funny.
the entire cast of Channel Awesome.
And it was the funniest thing I've seen all year.
It's hilarious. It's
I-
quality.
It
movie.
was.
I could not stop
that
laughing.
That was so funny.
It's a top tier
It was
movie.
really funny.
Curtis, what are you doing?
Okay, so the next one is The Joker Baby.
The Joker.
Another remake, but not quite living up to the original The Joker
Wanna know how I got these scars? Well, I'm the Joker, baby.
Baby.
It's not as good as Melvin.
It's not quite as good as Melvin, Brother of the Joker, which is a spin-off, or The Joker Baby.
Melvin, Melvin, brother of the Joker. Melvin, Melvin, brother of the Joker. Melvin, Melvin, brother of the Joker.
But as far as it goes, The Joker stands up tall.
I'd say,
No,
yeah,
it's-
it was really good.
It's well shot. It's pretty good. A little derivative. Pretty damn derivative. But
How derivative.
I like when he
Pretty
shoots
damn.
Jay Leno
Pretty
in the
damn.
face.
That was a good. I
I like
agree,
when he
it was
shoots
really
Jay
good.
Leno in the face. A
was
lot of
good.
build-up.
What do you
And-
get? when
It
you
wasn't
cross?
complete dog shit.
What do you get when you cross a mentally handicapped? What is it?
Mentally retard person with a...
What do you get when you cross Curtis with a society that abandons him and treats him like trash?
Ooh, he's adorable.
He's sleeping. He's sleeping.
He's come.
Leave him out of this. He's sleeping. But, alright, Aiden.
It was good though. Yeah,
It was
Comes after
good.
that? Oh, next up is The Lighthouse.
The lighthouse.
I didn't see the last.
It's really good.
Beautiful lighthouse shot and won by 1.1. And I fell asleep most of the way through. And I couldn't sleep because it was so loud, like the Blair Witch remake or
just loud.
sequel or whatever.
Oh god, I forgot about that movie.
But unlike the Blair Witch, it wasn't horrendous dog shit.
It wasn't bad.
And
No,
I
it's
liked
great.
it.
It's good.
It's good.
Yeah, Willem
No, it's
Dafoe's
good.
really
It's
awesome and
really
Robert Pattinson
intense,
is too.
uncomfortable,
And
but it's good.
you know,
It's good.
I'd have to.
saying both of them are great actors in it is quite the compliment, considering they're the only two actors.
Is it just them?
Yeah,
for the whole
100%
movie?
good.
There is
acting.
one mermaid. The mermaid only appears for like 30 seconds though.
Okay.
Robert Pattinson fucks it, and then that's it. That's literally it. Otherwise, it's just them and some gulls.
I heard good things. I just never got
Oh, it's
around to
great,
watching
it's
it. How long is it? Is it like 2 hours or is it an hour and a half?
Hour
Like an hour
45.
40.
Okay.
maybe. It's not that long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, introduce this movie that no one but me saw.
Which one?
One Under the Lighthouse.
Midsummer.
Midsummer's good.
Midsummer's good. Moving on.
Aiden saw Midsummer.
What's it about? Explain.
They go to a festival. There's a bunch of people who go to a weird Scandinavian kind of cult festival. And then all the cult members are like, well, we're turning 50 today. You know what that means.
Look at Curtis.
Suicide.
And then they throw themselves off a cliff and die.
So you're saying it's like a ritual thing? It's this weird thing. It's about the college kids who just show up to it, right?
Yeah, and then she burns her boyfriend alive in a bear costume and joins the cult. And
So
she's happy.
As good as The Wicker Man.
It's by Ari Aster who made The Witch. I don't know if you saw that.
The Vavitch?
Yeah, the Witch.
I didn't see it, but I heard good things about that too.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I heard he's really good at horror.
We saw, Spider-Man Far From Home.
I didn't.
Spider-Man Far From Home was a pretty good movie. It was Spider-Man Homecoming again.
Yep.
That's all you need.
Tom Holland was still good.
I like Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal, I like when I see Jake Gyllenhaal.
Played a
He's
good
always-
Mysterio.
He played a good Mysterio. The twist was,
Although-
they acted like it was a big twist, like there was a lot of build up to Mysterio.
But in the trailer,
They're like,
they
wow.
show it.
A
Mysterio's
5-year-old would know that from their...
Mysterio's a good guy, and he's really great. And then they're like, he's evil, and you're supposed to be surprised. And it's like, no.
Well,
I
it's
literally
one of the
had
only
a picture
villains.
book.
I played a Spider-Man video game 15 years
Spider-Man
ago. I know that Mysterio's evil.
Yeah.
Well, I had a Spider-Man like picture book as a kid that you press it and it would talk, like Peter Parker would say shit,
Right.
and that had Mysterio as a villain. That's all it takes to know your twists. So
Well, there's
it
only
wasn't
like
much
5.
of a twist, but I thought that part.
Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, he's the main villain.
I liked the part where Jon Favreau and Tom Holland went in that Avengers or it's Tony Stark's spaceship and made another Spider-Man suit.
Yeah,
Thought that was
cool.
pretty badass. It had some
Word.
good parts. Spider-Man's the new Iron Man in
Introduce another
both
movie you didn't
quality, not quite as quality, but slightly, and whatever.
It still
It's
had
good.
this snappy Marvel
Grant?
dialogue.
Yeah,
You're
I
half
hope
gay.
they get a new director.
Would you have sex with Tom Holland?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
He's very nice looking. He's nice.
Anyway, I hope they get a new director for 3, change it up a bit, because while I like the Spider-Man they have right now,
They should get
I
Zack
want-
Snyder and release the
yeah,
Snyder
well, not Zack Snyder.
cut. When
They
is
do-
the Snyder
But I
cut
was
coming
thinking-
out?
They should get his daughter.
Who made the best Marvel movie so far?
It's really sad.
It's not
when
Joss
someone-
Whedon.
It's
Shane
sad.
Black.
It's really sad when someone commits suicide via 3 bullets to the back of the head.
The old
Zack
Warner
Snyder's
Brothers.
daughter style.
The old delay in Justice League.
Zack
the
Snyder
only way
quit.
they could.
You need to quit Justice League. No.
Your daughter committed suicide.
Oh
Boom. It's
my
time to quit
God.
Justice League. I know you got a couple other kids. I'm sure they're very sad about it too.
What is she up to these days?
Same way everyone.
Yep.
Okay, so. I wish I saw this, but I didn't. Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, I didn't see it either.
I like Jojo Rabbit.
I saw like half
I
of
saw it.
Jojo Rabbit because I was ushering a theater.
Yeah.
What was it like?
It's confused tonally,
Confused.
to put it.
Okay. Is it kind of
Um,
like a Wes Anderson confusion, or is it just
No,
bad at
it's-
it?
The movie flip flops between being cute and being not cute.
Right. How so?
You go from scenes of the little Nazi boy being retarded to his mom getting hanged by the Nazis.
What? Oh fuck! Was it funny? Was it
Not
played?
really.
Was it played
was
for
okay.
laughs?
No, that wasn't played for laughs. No, it was okay though.
It's like, oh geez, Hitler.
It was cute, and I always like seeing Hitler portrayed in a positive light.
And the whole thing is the kid is his imaginary friend is Hitler, right?
Yeah, he wants to grow up to be a good Nazi.
And then does he change?
He
by the
kills
end?
Hitler.
Yeah, his mom hides a Jew in their house, and he befriends the Jewish
He
person
thinks she's
of
hot. He wants
Jewish
to
faith.
fuck her.
He
Yes, he
just
does
wants
wanna
to.
fuck her.
He wants to fuck the Jew.
And they'll make like Zack Snyder's daughter before the cops could ever close in on her.
Yeah, but I heard good
The only
things.
thing is,
Yeah, it was decent.
Aiden will
It was
kill
fun.
himself. It won't be a
That was
50-year-old
romantic.
man in a suit. I guess.
Avengers Endgame.
Yeah,
Finally, a movie we all saw.
Disney.
The Avengers.
It's like
Disney,
the
give
Avengers,
Disney money.
except it's the 4th time, and they all come back from the dead.
I thought it was.
No, they
yeah.
don't come back from the dead until the last 2 minutes, and then there's a big CGI showcase.
For anyone who like opted out, didn't see it. Basically, he just snaps it, and all the people who died 5 years ago come back.
I liked Infinity War better.
Infinity War was nice because it left you like it's okay.
In
Thanos
ways, I
won,
like
let's end it.
Infinity War better, but in other
Yeah, they
ways.
should have just ended it. Never made another one. Just half
Yeah.
the heroes died.
Cut
Black
the.
Panther.
Here's what
God.
would make
Shit.
Infinity War way better than it actually was.
No
Cut out
Black-
all of the characters except Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and have Robert Downey Jr. not phone it in as Iron Man.
Oh, I
Infinity
fucking-
War would be a much better movie.
Well, I mean, after 10
Yeah, I like
years.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange is sick, and I just rewatched
Not
Doctor
that I like
Strange.
this movie. I thought
No, I
was okay,
rewatched
but-
his movie. His movie has forgettable characters. The plot is kind of like run-of-the-mill Marvel, other than like the setup per usual.
This is
But Doctor Strange is a good character.
yeah, I like that.
So-
I like him in Infinity War.
Yeah, I really liked him in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Right.
So does anyone have any actual thoughts on Endgame instead of
It's
Infinity
a cool
War?
movie.
It was a big budget.
I liked watching
Disney
them
throwing
go
all the
pew
money.
pew and punch each other.
Well, it's Disney throwing
Me
all the
too.
money on the screen.
I
and that's
also
what's
like-
nice.
Did you guys see Movie Bob's new tweet? I
No.
would assume not because
Movie Bob Escapist?
I've never heard of
Yes.
Movie Bob.
Movie Bob is a 455-pound waste of space
Oh, you
who still
told me
lives
that.
in his mother's basement.
One sec.
And yesterday,
Okay.
he caught a little shit for saying that cape shit was the modern equivalent of the Greek gods.
What?
Very cringe.
What the fuck?
He said that the Greek gods are silly and cape shit is cool because I don't know.
What does this have to do with Endgame?
He was saying it because of Endgame.
Endgame is the king of cape shit.
What's cape shit? Re-explain it?
Superhero movies.
What do you need explained?
I didn't-
Cape shit.
Cape shit.
Superheroes wear capes. None of them
Okay.
really do anymore, but cape shit. Superman and Batman wear capes, but otherwise not really.
Okay.
Toy Story 4. I watched that one. No one else watched it. I
Didn't
don't-
see it. No.
Grant didn't even know that came out this year.
I thought it came out last year.
It is the worst Toy Story movie.
I don't
Um,
doubt it. Yeah.
Maybe better than Toy Story 2.
Did you like the new
Maybe.
characters of Key and Peele and a fork?
I
Yeah.
didn't see it.
The fork was more of a plot device than a character, and he was okay.
How much of the movie is spent on the fork?
It's all about
He's
Woody.
a driving person of the plot. He drives.
Okay.
Buzz
he
ain't even
drives
in the movie
Woody's
mostly.
plot,
Really?
but
Tim Allen's still voicing
Woody
him?
kind of rolls back from.
Tim
three.
Allen's a Trump supporter, so they had to cut him out of the movie.
Yeah,
He's in
Woody-
like 10
well,
minutes.
Buzz
Okay.
Lightyear. The one thing that kind of sucked is Buzz Lightyear just became full of retard. He
Yeah, I
became
heard
like
about that.
Peter Griffin from Family Guy with brain damage. Basically, is the best
What?
way to describe his character.
Oh.
I haven't seen it, but
But-
I've heard that he always presses the button on his chest and just listens to whatever it says because he thinks it's his conscience.
Bo Peep.
So
yeah.
he's like Peter Griffin tier.
And that way they could just reuse dialogue. There you
Yeah, so like it'll
they
be
didn't have
like,
to
should
pay
I
Tim
help
Allen
save
anything.
Woody? Or everyone will be like, don't help save Woody, Buzz, or whatever. And then it'll like say like, time to save Woody. And then he goes out and he gets hit by like 20,000 fucking cars, gets flattened,
He just
thrown
fucking
in a
dies.
recycling bin. And he's like, oh, that hurt me. But Bo Peep, well, Buzz was retroactively made into a retard. Bo Peep was retroactively made into a character, which was kind of cool.
That's too real.
And she was pretty cool in it, and Woody was pretty cool in it,
Okay.
and they had some cool adventures. It was a fun Toy Story romp. It wasn't hugely necessary, but, you know, I feel like it was supposed to kind of cap off the series. 3 was supposed to cap off the series, so in 10 years when I see
2
Toy
was supposed
Story
to cap off the
5...
series.
And one was supposed to be
cap-
standalone.
Yeah.
What would you rate them? What order would you put
rank
the 4?
the movies? Toy Story 1 on...
1,
yeah.
3, 2, 4, probably.
1, 3, 2, 4.
I haven't seen 4,
1,
but
3,
that's what I'd imagine.
4,
You haven't seen 3? 3's
2.
good.
I
2's
heard
a
it's
little
good.
more... yeah, that's
So,
right.
what's your
2's kinda
final rating?
generic.
4 is probably the worst, but even 4 I don't really consider a bad movie. I think all 4 of the Toy Story movies are solid.
Okay.
I just think Toy Story 4 is kind of unnecessary, which is part of the reason. But the animation is probably some of the best like CG animation I've seen. Like Toy Story 3 looked like a huge bump for the time compared to like 2.
Okay.
But even like 4 feels like a massive bump between 3. So it's cool to see how far we've come. It's one of the most beautiful animated films I've seen for 3D animation.
I just
But it's
remembered we put The Wall as like number 3.
Yes, we did.
But you say 3 not as good at the time as it could have been, or it's contemporary.
No, I think 3 had good animation for the time, but I think 4 just kind of like showed a new level
Okay.
of animation.
Okay, that makes
Just a
sense.
natural progression from 3. Not that 3 was bad animation for the time or anything. No.
I just felt like it was a cash grab.
Before you read the next one, let me pee quick.
Hey Curtis, look at him. He looks like one of those wavy cat things in Japan. You know the Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Imagine watching giant monsters punch each other for 2 hours.
I
But
dug
also, you have to watch Millie Bobby Brown some. That sucks a little bit, but
She's hot.
the monsters hitting each other.
She's gonna
Millie
be
Bobby
hot when
Brown's
she's
ugly,
18.
dude. She's weird.
No, I'm
looking.
just making fun of Joey because Joey said that one time in the car. He's like, in 3 years, Millie Bobby Brown's gonna be really hot. And I
He
was
was
like,
so wrong, dude. Millie Bobby Brown looks 40, even though she's like 12.
Oh, that's sad.
yeah.
She looks like Jamie Lee Curtis.
I think we're
but
just this video is kind of just.
she's not like Halloween Jamie Lee Curtis, where she was
This-
just like average looking. She's like Granny Poop Yogurt Jamie Lee Curtis.
This
She's
video,
only like 17.
this
14
video,
or 15, dude. She's young, dude.
she's not that.
Weird.
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah, she's young.
This video is gonna be played in a courtroom.
Yeah, when it's like, all right, pedophile Aiden Hobson.
Exhibit A.
We should probably bleep out that pedophile. Multiple
Aiden-
uses of the word pedophile.
I'll bleep it
Aiden's
out.
the only one who
Just because
said it.
YouTube's magical thing will catch it and won't get.
They
bitched
use
at.
they use the auto captions and then use those words.
Well,
from
you
that.
can get demonetized for bleeping words out now too.
Yeah,
Who
it's true.
cares? We don't get monetized. We're
Yeah, I
under
know.
1,000.
Fuck
so.
you, YouTube.
Still
Eat a dick.
stupid.
Yeah. We're
Uh,
kind of dicked. Otherwise, you
what?
could just
But yeah, Godzilla King of
word-
Monsters.
just take
is
the
pretty
word
much
out.
Exactly.
place it.
okay, wait. What's King of Monsters actually about? Like, what is?
They just-
the
Okay,
plot?
here's
King
the plot.
Ghidorah wakes up.
No, here's
It's
the
a
plot.
kaiju fighting monster.
Millie Bobby Brown's mom uses this machine to wake up the monsters, and and they fight.
She
Okay,
tries to
that's
brain
it.
control them. and they fight.
WWE Monster Mash fucking brawl through
Yeah.
the cities.
Does
Godzilla.
the Asian guy come back and say Godzilla's
He
on our
does,
side?
Yeah,
actually.
I love Ken
And then he
Watanabe.
blows
He's
up
awesome.
a fucking
He is
dude
nice.
inside
He
King
nukes
Ghidorah
himself.
or whatever.
He
Or
nukes
no, he
himself
nukes
to wake
himself
up
to wake up
What the
Godzilla.
fuck?
Godzilla. That's right.
Just
So-
like it's just like at the end of the first movie when the guy goes down with the
It's-
oxygen destroyer, the guy with the eye patch.
It's
he
like
blows
the
himself
Tahoe
up.
movies, but you can actually finally film the scale of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of just being like little like remote control tank Godzilla pitches against a cardboard.
So instead of
Box.
following the kick-ass guy, and
Too bad
for
Mothra's
most of the
only
movie-
one because I'd definitely fuck her. Am I right? Pedophile, bro.
Mothra? Oh, what?
What did you, the child or the moth?
I said the moth.
You're in the macro micro.
You're into little poop yogurt,
Yes,
Jamie.
I am.
Lee
Wait, we
you
barely
just
talked about
Godzilla.
it. Yeah, but we
It's
barely
Godzilla.
talked
What is
about
there to
it.
talk about?
That's it.
There's
That's
giant
all you
monsters
need
that
to
punch
say.
each other.
But the first movie fucked it up. They were like, "Oh, let's follow
Yeah,
these
no, the
little
first
kids."
movie blows.
The first movie fucking
This one's
sucks.
just that, but better because it's just monsters punching each other, but also Millie Bobby Brown.
Okay, but all you need is a kaiju movie. That's all we wanted. Is just monsters fucking up each other. That's why
That's what it
Pacific Rim
was.
did well.
That's why King of the Monsters is good save. Okay.
The next movie is
Pacific Rim didn't do well, but whatever.
I like
The
it.
first one did okay.
That's
the
why we didn't
second
get
one
sequels
did
till
really,
way
really
later.
bad.
I didn't see the second one.
Oh god,
Didn't do okay
it's
enough.
horrible.
Because there was a lot of marketing behind Pacific Rim too. So I
The
doubt
first
it
one's
was
okay. Pacific Rim Uprising is one of the worst
Cancel
movies I've
the
ever seen.
apocalypse. Anyways,
The next movie
Moving
is
on.
Us.
Us by Jordan Key Peele.
Yep, by Key and Peele.
by Jordan
Both
Key
of
and
them.
Peele Johnson. Jr.
Uh,
Who saw
it's-
this movie?
I saw the movie.
Okay, you two did. I didn't.
This movie is a metaphor with a really bad plot and a lot of plot holes, and if you don't think about it, it's kind of cool, and if you think about it, then it all falls apart.
Yeah,
What's
it's
the
well
metaphor?
shot.
It is well shot.
What's
Well
the
shot.
metaphor?
The
it
metaphor
racism?
is,
Classism.
I think it's technically classism, but all the underprivileged people are black, so everyone's just going to take it as a racial thing anyway. It's a bunch of black people live underground.
Yeah, and then they're
and
in a
then-
lab.
No, everyone has clones. Everyone in the world has clones that
Like
live in
shadows.
secret tunnels under America.
Yeah, and then there's a fun house.
But then the gamers rise up and come to the surface to take over.
Was it as good as his first movie, Get
I haven't
Out?
watched Get Out.
It's good. I like Get Out. It was good.
It's basically Gamers Rise Up, the movie, but the gamers are all black.
I had something to look at.
What are you doing?
I had something to look at.
Also, the
I don't want to talk
Yeah.
about this movie. 'cause
Is
it's
it
stupid.
heavy-handed? Is it really heavy-handed, or
it's
is
very
it?
heavy-handed.
Oh, rip.
It sucked, kind of, to be honest, but it is well shot. Next up, only I saw this movie. Frozen 2, baby. Disney, rise up.
Did they do a
Man,
Let
I
It Go
wanna fuck
reprise?
Elsa.
I'd fuck
No,
Elsa.
but they teased
Nice.
Let It Go like 1,500 times.
What do
Where
you-
she would like start singing it and be like, "Oh, this song." cringing.
Fuck.
She was
So
cringing.
stupid.
Was
She was
it-
cringing
it was
about letting
cringy?
go at one point.
Was it
I
cringy
don't
watching
know,
that, or was it like laughing
No,
with
she
them?
was cringy. No, I thought Frozen 2 was pretty good.
Was it? Did you like it?
I probably liked it better than Toy Story 4. I don't know why it's under Toy Story 4.
Let's
You
reorder
were the
this
one that did
list.
that.
I know,
Hey,
but
put this
whatever.
section in front of the other one.
Frozen 1, my girlfriend has made me watch many times, and it's a generic princess movie and it sucks. Frozen 2, it's just a little like adventure movie where she adventures and there's like these big like Titan guys. There's these little fire dudes and there's like the elements or whatever, and she like becomes like the fifth element or some shit. And she
Okay.
like
I wanna
she
fuck the
becomes
snowman.
like Olaf, but she like becomes like the wizard of the. She becomes the what are they, the wizard of loneliness.
But can you?
She becomes the wizard of loneliness at the end.
She's lonely.
No, but she's friends with like the trees and shit. So then her sister becomes the real princess.
I have
It's,
no idea what happens in the first
Can you
movie.
summarize
The
this is
first
confusing
movie,
to
I
me.
can summarize the first movie.
in 2 sentences.
Elsa has powers, but they don't know how to control her powers. So she's put in like a room. But then
And
her
she lets it
parents
go.
die, so then she stays in the room. But then she has like the ceremony of her becoming 18, so she becomes the princess. But I don't know who was like the controlling shit while she was gone. Whatever.
It was weird.
And
Basically,
then she was freezing stuff.
yeah.
So she gets exiled, but then there's like a great winter or some shit, so she has to stop that.
Yeah.
But then she becomes the Ice Queen, and she lets it go while she builds her big snow. She runs away,
Which is
She
in like
sings
3
Let It
scenes,
Go.
right?
and then she builds the big snow palace. She becomes the Snow Queen, and exiles herself or whatever.
Right.
And then Anna, Olaf, and the deer and the ugly dude go and bring her back, and then it turns out her sister's fiance,
Is
who she
evil.
became like engaged after like a scene, but that's kind of like actually part of the plot or whatever.
We're
that
getting
she's, like,
way
too
too into the
trusting.
plot of
It's like
Frozen
meta
1.
Disney or
This isn't
whatever.
even the right Frozen.
It's like
Like,
meta
okay,
Disney.
here's the
I'm
thing.
explaining the
Here's
whole
the
plot.
thing.
It's meta.
I'm trying to
And then-
understand
Here-
Frozen
okay,
2.
here's
And
the
then
thing.
she
Frozen 1.
touches her heart. She gets a frozen heart and dies, but then because something about love, she's trying to find the true love.
She fucked your
And
sister?
so somebody
They
maybe
teased
kisses
it.
Elsa or
Weird.
kisses
They
the
teased
sister,
the kiss.
but it wasn't the true
True-
love to save
true
her,
love's
but it
kiss.
was like the love of the
Or-
sisters or whatever, because the sisters, Elsa was in the room, so they didn't really love each other because she was in the room.
Why are
since she
you
was a
going
kid.
so in depth into
But
Frozen
then-
1's plot?
Okay, but
But then
what is Frozen
the
2 about?
evil
Yeah,
guy
what's-
gets imprisoned.
Here's
And the
okay,
alliance
Frozen
is
1
restored.
in 2 sentences.
The alliance gets broken because
What
he's
alliance?
the 13th. He's the
Dark
13th
Alliance?
son.
Baldur's Gate?
This
The
is
husband,
Baldur's
the
Gate, Dark Alliance
fiance,
2?
the fiance. This video is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
Okay, but
so her
what's Frozen
sister,
2?
Frozen 2 takes place
Okay.
10 years or like
There we go.
What the
whatever-
fuck is
in
happening?
real time later. Now they're both older, and Anna's gonna get engaged to the ugly dude with the reindeer.
What the fuck are you
She's
talking
marrying a
about?
And then
Was
she's
the
marrying
reindeer a
guy.
person?
No, she's marrying the guy who's best
Oh, okay.
friends with the reindeer and rides around the reindeer and
Sven?
shit. And then they
Sven?
go into the
Sven?
woods. Sven. And they go into the woods because the dam is coming down because their granddad killed one of the Native Americans. And
What?
then
What the fuck?
Her
Where does this
granddad
movie
killed the
take
Native
place?
in
What?
the woods.
What,
What
what
woods?
the fuck are you
The
talking about?
forbidden woods
Why
beyond
are we
the
spending
ocean.
In
so
America?
much time on this?
No, in whatever Frozen world.
Frozen
So why are they
World?
Native American?
They're not Native Americans. They're like Native Americans
Whoa,
that believe in the
whoa.
elemental gods. And there's 4 elementals.
Are you talking
but
about
then
the
there's
trolls,
a 5th
the rock
elemental,
people?
and the 5th elemental is because the granddad killed the mom or dad or something of his son's wife.
What the fuck are you
And
talking
his son's
about?
This kinda
wife
sounds like
is
Brother Bear.
Elsa
This is
and
weird.
Anna's mom.
It does sound like Brother
And
Bear.
Anna is like the kingdom princess lady for real, but Elsa becomes like the 5th elemental of the woods.
What the fuck are you talking
Okay.
about?
But anyways,
I don't
that's
get
the
it,
plot
but-
of Frozen 2.
What?
I
and
don't
it's
get
an
it, but
okay
okay.
movie.
What the
I
fuck?
liked it. I liked it better than Toy Story 4.
That next movie is one that
Uh,
you saw.
Shazam!
Shazam.
Oh, fuck.
Shazam!
I thought it was good.
It was okay. It was pretty
I
good.
liked it.
It was fine.
They did like some superhero shit, and it was kind of heartwarming. It was like Spider-Man: Homecoming, but Superman.
It was more down to earth.
I liked the.
It felt more indie than like a AAA budget kind of shit that Disney just throws out.
The
It felt like an indie movie made on a small budget of $150 million.
The kid and the Scrubs guy felt like they were playing the same character.
That was cool.
Good.
The acting, yeah, it was cool. It was a cool
It was well acted.
dichotomy. But anyway, so
that got
Elsa,
kinda
while she's in
stupid.
the woods,
Shut the fuck up about Frozen 2.
Who do you think would win in a fight, Elsa or Shazam?
Shazam.
Elsa.
No, Shazam.
Are we talking post Fifth Elemental Elsa?
Wait, are we?
Post
Are we
Fifth
wait, hold on. Are we
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about?
But
are we
Shazam
talking-
has the
shut-
Sharingan.
Oh, fuck.
Shut up. Okay,
Are we talking Shazam and all
wait,
his
hold on.
friends?
Are we talking
No,
high?
just Shazam.
Are we talking high noon, fair terms? They both know they're going
Well,
to the battle.
Elsa-
Are we talking like?
Yeah, but it's
They
Phil
don't
Elemental
know.
Elsa.
Well, Elsa
And
has.
it's Shazam with
then
the Sharingan.
Elsa could call on the little fire lizards, and she
Fucking-
could call on the wind horse, and she
What-
could call
what
on
wind
the
horse?
She could call on
giant.
the
She has
snowman.
the wind
What the
horse
fuck
she
are you
rides.
talking
She's got
And
the
she
snowman.
can call in. There's these monsters. You know, the Shadow of the Colossus. big
Shazam was
stone
good.
Guy?
Yeah.
She can call on the Colossus
Watch it.
from Shadow of the Colossus. Those are characters in
Who do you
Frozen.
think would win in a fight, Elsa or Cliff from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Cliff.
Elsa.
Brad
Elsa.
Pitt.
Elsa. to
She
be
could
honest.
just freeze him
Okay,
and
but
kill
what
him.
if Cliff had 2 cans of dog food?
That's hard.
It's a tough
Tie.
fight.
Tie. It would be
Tough fight.
equally matched.
How many fireplaces does Cliff have?
3 fireplaces, 2 cans of dog food.
Yeah, it depends. The
But Frozen
location.
has Elsa as the snowman.
Olaf.
Well, the fireplaces. There you go.
What are we
That's
talking?
three.
Are we talking Olaf or the snowman she makes that's like a
Yeah,
giant
the-
snow
the
goblin?
icicle-
Why are there more snowmans than
There's
Olaf?
a
There's
few
Olaf,
snowmen.
and then there's the icicle
Olaf
monster.
is the only snowman, but then there's the icicle monster.
Fucking. What's
And then-
going on in Hollywood?
And there's the part. Is she amped up on singing like "Let It Go"? Because she can make castles and shit while she's doing that.
What? Wait,
Anyhow,
hold on.
what's the
Wait,
next
hold
movie?
on.
The
What?
next-
What the fuck did you say?
I said, is she amped up on singing "Let It Go" because
do
she
you
can
think
make
she gets
castles and
you,
shit?
You think she gets wet when she's?
Yes, probably.
Well,
and it
yeah, but
freezes.
the problem is,
It
right
freezes.
after it starts dripping, it freezes. You stick
Yeah.
your dick in there, you're getting frostburn, it's
Hypothermia,
turning
yeah.
black and shriveling, and
Elsa's not
Is it
really
worth
into
it,
like
though?
fucking, dude.
Wait, how old is Elsa?
Elsa's an incel.
See,
I don't
so
know,
moving
in the
on.
first
Google.
movie, she's supposed to be 18.
Google.
So in the second movie,
Guys,
she's
quiet
like
for 1 second.
25.
Hold on.
Google, how old is Elsa? Google.
Okay, Google, read me Gold Key Frozen book.
What?
Sorry, I don't know how to help with that.
Okay,
Okay, Google.
Google. What? How old is Elsa?
On the website frozen.fandom.com, they say 3 years had passed since Elsa revealed her powers, and a now 24-year-old Elsa.
Okay,
Nice.
21.
Nice.
Close.
Saved it.
I think
Saved
it said
it.
24 or 25. So.
Okay, 21. That's weird.
Okay, Google, no more about Elsa, please.
Shut the fuck up.
All right.
The next movie,
Wait, we didn't even talk about What's Upon a Time.
we talked about that at the start.
was
That
the
was the
first
first
movie,
movie.
yeah.
What? Wait, what? What?
We were getting an argument about who would win the fight,
Okay.
Cliff or Elsa.
I thought that was a
We're
segue.
on the-
We're on The Dead Don't Die, which you were the only one who saw.
The Dead Don't Die.
What is it?
It's a meandering plot about zombies coming back to life.
Is that the one with Steve Buscemi?
No. Yes.
Yes.
Steve Buscemi is in it. He plays the races.
Nice.
Cool.
Me too.
It was actually funny. I liked the movie. I liked the theme song. It was funny.
You're gay. Would you have sex with Steve Buscemi?
Not Steve Buscemi. Kylo Ren,
You're
maybe.
gay. Would you have sex with Elsa? Would you have a three-way with Rey and Kylo
only,
Ren?
only if Elsa has
And-
a dick.
Okay, Rey and Kylo Ren, but Moff was masturbating in the corner.
Ray
Is he
and Kylo
macro
Ren.
or micro?
Ray and Kylo Ren, but Palpatine is
I don't know
watching
what
from
that
the
means.
corner.
Is he masturbating or is he
Yeah,
not?
he's hanging from his robot thing with his fucked up
Is-
little
is he
broken
just
off
watching?
fingers.
Is he watching or is he jerking?
Palpatine is
He can't
dangling
jerk.
above you in his big
He
robot
can't
arm,
jerk
jerking
because
off
he
on
doesn't
you.
have fingers in the movie. You gotta watch the movie. To,
No.
It's
Well, he
hard.
can use the Force to beat himself off. How do you think you would?
Do you think he'd just do this? And then
Do you think he'd laugh and be like, ha 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 ha?
You want to know a
his
fun
wiener would go
fact
up?
about Star
does
Wars
lightning
lore?
come out?
He's laughing. He's like, ha 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 ha.
You wanna know a
4
fun
Viagra
fact about
pills
Star
come out of
Wars
his
lore, guys?
prescription.
You want to know a fun fact about Star Wars lore? The only member of the Jedi Council that was allowed to get married was Ki-Adi-Mundi. He's the guy with the big wiener head.
Was
why?
Because his species had low birth rates, so he had 5 wives.
What? Where? What? Where's it say
That's
that?
canon. I'm not kidding. That's
It's the
canon.
extended universe?
Yoda's a virgin. Obi-Wan virgin.
Yoda's
Everyone else, Coyote is the
you think
only
Baby
one who is
Yoda's
allowed to have sex.
Don't you bring memes into this.
And
Okay.
Coyote
We've already
Baby
outed
seed.
ourselves as what we truly are.
I'm gonna
Baby
pee.
Baby Yoda is said to be 50 years old.
I'm gonna split this just so it don't corrupt. Okay. Yeah, I got pee.
Are you recording again?
Yes.
Alright, we'll wait for you. Baby Eid. Baby Eid, more like baby yeast infection.
Did you hear that Mandalorian Season 2 is going to have a bunch of characters from the Skywalker saga in it?
Why?
That's just what they announced. Which I'm going to assume
How?
means Boba Fett.
It's gonna have to basically be Boba Fett because it's after Return of the Jedi, so no Darth Vader.
It's going to be...
You can't really do like Luke Skywalker and shit because they'll all be...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I assume it's
Maybe
going to
like
be
baby Kylo.
R2, C-3PO, and Boba Fett? Maybe one of the Ewoks or something. He goes to Endor. I don't know. Wicket? I can't think of any characters. The Sarlacc. That's kind of a character, maybe.
Yeah.
And do you think Elsa gets drunk at parties on wine?
She could.
How the fuck would I know? I haven't seen the goddamn movie.
Have you met her in
Anyway,
person?
let's talk about Baby Eid.
It's not.
Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
I haven't
Baby
seen the
Yoda's-
Mandalorian.
Baby
Baby
Yoda's
Yoda's
50 years old,
So I was
so
wondering,
he's
is
legal.
it legal to fuck her? Fuck him.
Fuck her?
Could I fuck Baby Yoda?
Is he a cum toy?
What? He's legal, and he's... So, I was just curious if you think
He's
you could
legal
fuck
and
Baby
he's
Yoda.
horny.
Anyways, so the next movie we have to talk about is Ready or Not.
I'm the only one who saw this. It's a movie about this girl gets married to a guy, and the guy's family made a deal with the devil, and they have to play a game every time a new family member is admitted into their family, and they have to play hide and seek. And she's the hide, and they're the seek, and they all have guns and crossbows, and they try to murder her.
Cool.
Awesome.
It's okay. It's whatever. It's average movie.
How
I
was it
didn't
end?
regret seeing it. At the end, they have to kill her before dawn, otherwise the devil gets grumpy. And the devil gets grumpy and explodes them all into blood.
Okay.
They just explode into, like, blood mist.
They just...
And then she's like, "You're a jerk" to her husband, even though her husband was just kind of there.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I guess he tried to stab her that one time. But,
And they kill the
you know,
kids,
and
but
she says, "I
off-screen.
want a divorce," and then he explodes. And that's literally the end of the movie.
And it plays Nickelback.
The play's Still
Does-
Standing by Elton
I
John.
don't remember.
In the original ending, you know, they were supposed to kill her, and she didn't live. It's weird.
Really?
Yeah, in the original. But they rewrote it for that last, like, 12 minutes. It's just completely a different script.
I don't think it would have been very satisfying to see her get killed.
Exactly. That's why they changed it. But the producers let them. They could have said, "Nah, bro, you keep the shitty ending." So good on them. Where are we?
After Ready or Not. On the left column, but
Glass.
towards the bottom somewhere.
Okay, the next movie is Glass. I didn't see Glass.
Oh yeah, Glass.
Who saw Glass?
We saw Glass here.
Glass is the third movie in the
M. Night
Unbreakable
Shyamalan
trilogy.
What's the
cinematic
second
universe? There's Glass.
I can't remember the name.
There's Split.
Split.
It is M. Night Shyamalan's take on Cape Shit, and it's
Yep.
something. It's something. It's
Bruce
okay.
Willis gets drowned in a puddle.
I could take it. I could leave it. That's all I have to say about it. I don't really want to.
Samuel Jackson dies.
For some reason, this
Bruce
is a
Willis
movie I
drowns
don't
in a
ever.
puddle.
Well, of course, I don't want to see this movie ever again. But it's one of those movies I don't like thinking about for some reason. And I kind of liked it. I didn't hate it. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it.
Fair enough.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Rocket Man.
Rocket Man is a movie only I here have seen.
He's burning up the fuel up there alone.
Rocket Man.
Grant, you're gay. Would you have sex with Elton John?
Depends. How young?
Sugar Daddy.
Sugar
20. Daddy. Uncle
Sugar
right
daddy
now.
right now age?
Yeah, currently.
Yeah, I'd do it.
Elton John's
for
buying
sugar daddy.
this.
What about sexy 25-year-old Elton John?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Tooth gap.
He was famous by then.
Okay, moving on.
No, I want to talk about this a little bit.
What
I was
Rocket Man?
impressed. They had Kingston guy sing all the songs again, and he did a very good job.
Okay.
The
Was
movie,
it redubbed, or does it like
was-
lead into it? Lead into the studio recording, or is
No,
it
he
dubbed
no,
by
he does
the
the whole
actor?
thing.
Really?
They redid the
So
whole-
they
whole thing.
remade.
Damn, that's
they
impressive.
remade all the songs, and then he dubbed over his versions of the songs.
Okay.
So I think they figured out what songs they needed for the scenes. He recorded them. It's actually an album you can get on Apple Music. And the versions are okay. I don't understand, like, if you're a diehard Elton John fan, maybe it'd be interesting to see someone else's take. I think he did a really good job on a lot of them, and a lot of them thematically sound a little different to work with the movie.
Right.
The movie feels a lot like a play, which is cool, where it's like, it's not like a straight, like, biopic, like, this happened, cut to this happening next. It's stylized, so something happens, and then at one point, like, Elton John turns into a rocket ship, which is weird. There's a lot of weird shit in it, but it's good. The songs are good. The performances were pretty good. It wasn't a great movie. It felt very long.
They just
I felt like
announced
this-
the other day. They announced a U2 biopic
Cool.
after the success of Rocket Man and Bohemian Rhapsody.
No. Please don't.
Can anyone name a U2 song?
Woohoo. Wait, that's Blur.
That's not.
All right, moving on.
Joshua Tree. Oh, fucking no.
Is that a U2 song?
That's an album. I don't know any songs off it.
Detective Pikachu is next.
I liked it.
I liked it.
It was nice. It was neat.
It was okay.
It was pandering, I feel
I
like.
like Pokemon.
I don't know.
I'm a Pokemon fanboy who just spent $60 on Sword and Shield.
Some of the
that
stuff
game
in the
kinda
movie.
It's $50 at Walmart. Why'd you pay?
Because I was drunk, I was like, I want to play Pokemon.
I
and
think
I bought it off the e-store.
The plot of Detective Pikachu is kind of bad and dumb.
Depends on who you
But-
ask.
I like some of the little things in there were better than the main thing.
There were some little touches.
I like seeing the Pokemon direct traffic when he first gets to the city.
Yeah, I
and
like
stuff
how
like
it's
that.
like a world with Pokemon integrated as like people,
Yeah.
more or less.
Yeah,
it's
it
kinda
it
neat.
does feel the integrated kind of.
The world building is more interesting
The-
than the actual
The
mystery.
acting and plot is a little.
Because there's really no mystery. He kind of just goes places and then people tell him where
Yeah.
to go.
And then it's
and then he goes
shoehorned at the
there.
end.
And then at the end, the guy in the wheelchair's like, "It was really me."
And I'm
he's
Mewtwo
like,
now.
It's the plot of Rise of Skywalker, but with Pokemon.
At a lower budget.
Yes.
It's Mewtwo.
Yes.
It is. It's the plot of fucking.
Yeah.
Because wasn't there a guy in like a? He might not have been in a wheelchair, but
He was in a
he
wheelchair.
was taking over Mewtwo's mind, and he had like the psychic powers. It's pretty much, and then Pikachu kind of Kamehamehas his ass. It's literally fucking Star Wars.
Okay, but when their
Pokemon.
minds transferred into Pokemon, do you think anyone got really horny?
Yes, but it feels pretty damn rushed, but not nearly as rushed.
See, if I could have one
Skywalker.
Pokemon, I'd pick Ditto and have it turn into Elsa and fuck it.
Yeah.
You're fucking an animal, though, at that point.
It's all that matter, bro.
That's okay.
It's close enough.
I thought the Pokemon looked kind of cool.
I
Some
did
of
like
them
a lot
looked
of the
bad,
design.
and some of them looked really good.
I like
Charizard
Mr.
looked fucking horrible.
Charizard looked like shit. Mr. Mime and Mewtwo looked pretty
Pikachu
good.
was cute,
Pikachu
though.
looked cute.
I like how Mr. Mime intentionally looked kind of creepy.
Yeah, and the movie was heartwarming. The acting was pretty shit, but I
like the ending when
like it.
Ryan shows up and he's like, "What's up, son?"
What do you think about?
He's
the
a
fact,
white man,
and
you
I
didn't
learned
see that
this
coming.
today. They're making a Pokemon Red and Blue and Detective Pikachu movies. It's gonna be a cinematic universe.
That
I
sounds
don't.
awful.
I don't mind it. I don't mind the pandering at all. Not one bit.
Someone under Detective Pikachu.
We have Happy Death Day to You.
I saw this movie.
I did not. Did you see
Um,
it? What'd you think?
Happy Death Day 1 was Groundhog Day, but slasher version, and it was okay. Happy Death Day 2 went full retard, and I liked it.
Did they have fun with it more?
Yeah, instead of being a horror movie, a slasher movie, this one's just like a weird science fiction movie.
Parallel universes and shit.
Literally, yes. The intro was more fun, or they made the side character, the annoying Asian guy from the first movie, become the main character for the first like 20 minutes.
What was his line? "Oh, you sleep with what's your face?" And that's it.
Yeah, something like that. They had him be the main character for the first like 20 minutes, and an alternate dimension version of him was trying to kill himself to stop the time loop. I liked that part better than I liked the rest of the movie, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, Yeah, it was okay.
Did they have fun with it? Was it well directed?
I wouldn't call it well directed because it sounds like you saw the first movie, right?
Parts of it, most of it, on and off in the background.
It wasn't perfectly made.
Shot
It
a
wasn't
little
well
porny-
made.
Porny-y.
It had definitely like
Cheap,
consistency
low
issues.
budget, kind of looking all around.
Yeah.
But it's kind of fun in a not great way.
Yeah. In its own way.
And that's kind of good enough.
When am I introducing the next movie?
After this one, we've been going in order.
No, you have not.
Yeah, you've been
I have-
skipping it for like 3 now.
I've been skipped for the past, I don't think I've been
You
introduced
come
one
after
since
me.
Frozen.
No, we keep passing it back and forth.
No, you introduced Ready or Not.
No, I did not.
You introduced Glass.
No, I did not.
You did.
You
I did.
introduced. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Just introduce
All right.
it.
Alita Battle Angel.
I didn't see
I
it.
barely remembered this movie. And I remember it looked creepy. The action was okay. The story was rushed. But overall, the movie was okay.
Is it better than Ghost in the Shell?
Yes.
I
With
haven't
20
seen
remake.
those.
Alita Battle Angel is an okay movie it's an okay movie that's a bad adaptation of a
Some
great
look
manga.
stylized and good. But
Read Alita Battle Angel, don't watch the movie.
What about the anime? Was there an anime?
The anime is even worse than the movie. It's horrible.
all right, Aiden, what did you think of Hobbs and Shaw? I absolutely refused to watch this movie, but I did see about 10 minutes of it today because Dad was actually watching it on Hulu.
Hobbs and Shaw is...
What's the plot?
Hobbs and Shaw do shit in Fast and Furious.
What's the plot?
They were in a bunch of rooms.
okay,
The entire movie looked the same because I walked up.
I don't know which character is Hobbs and I don't know which character is Shaw.
I think
Rock
Shaw's
and Idris
Statham.
Elba.
There's The Rock and there's Jason Statham.
Oh, isn't Idris Elba in it?
Let's just call them
Idris
J-Rock
Elba
and
isn't it. I'll get to
Statham.
that. There's The Rock and there's Jason Statham
Okay.
and there's Jason Statham's sister.
Okay.
And Jason's sister is she's a spy, but she's a double crosser, but she's triple crossing them, but she's
What?
also quadruple crossing
What's
them.
the context?
She's like 5 layers deep in this ruse
Okay.
to steal
Is it
nano
diamond?
machines?
Nano.
Nano machines like Metal Gear Solid 4.
So
And
nano
Idris
machines.
Elba, he injects himself with nano machines, just like Metal Gear Solid, and he can run really fast and do something. And the Rock and Jason Statham don't like each other. But
When
then
do cars come into this?
They don't.
almost never. That's why it's not called Fast and the Furious. But they do a lot of things that don't matter. Who cares? And then they go to Samoa. Samoa?
Samoa.
What island is The Rock from? Samoa?
Fuck. I know.
Samoa.
Samoa.
They go to that place because The
Like
Rock
Samoa.
insisted on it in his contract.
Okay.
And then they get the cars out, and Idris Elba has a helicopter. It's not a nanomachine helicopter, it's just a helicopter. And all of the Rock's family, who are all fat Samoan people, they daisy chain their cars together with hook shots.
What?
And then they hook shot onto the helicopter and they throw it off a cliff.
What?
And then they punch Idris Elba to death.
What the fuck?
He actually dies. They
On
physically
screen.
beat him to death.
They beat him.
They
They
should
beat
gore.
him up, and then he's like, "Kill me." And then they're like, "No, if we do that, we're no better than you."
And then they fuck him, right?
and then the super secret super villain, who I don't know who it is because
Jason Statham.
I don't
The
know.
Rock.
Was it not explained, or you?
It wasn't explained. They're setting it up for a sequel.
Why?
He calls Idris Elba on his nanomachine cell phone.
Oh,
and
so
he's
it's like
like-
G.I. Joe.
He's like, "Ring, ring," and Idris Elba's like, "What do you want?" And he's like, "You failed me, Idris Elba." And then Idris Elba explodes.
Because the nanomachines.
The nanomachines.
The nanomachines. You
He
heard it.
literally explodes. It's not like he just dies.
So
He
it's like
explodes.
it's like the hide and seek movie. What's
Yeah,
it called?
exactly.
Secret
Ready or
on
not?
Rides.
Basically,
All right.
it was kind of bad.
Moving on.
Next one.
Furious 7's the best movie of all time.
Next one.
You haven't read me yet.
Yeah, you just read the
Oh,
Hobbs
okay,
and
okay.
Shaw.
Yeah.
Never mind. Bro.
Oopsie.
Okay. Escape Room. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
I saw that.
Why'd you watch it?
I like the genre of people in a room dying.
What drew you in? Was it the trailer?
It looked like a knockoff version of Saw, and I like Saw.
It's
And it was a
PG-13.
knockoff version of Saw.
Like, how much blood is on screen?
None. Absolutely none.
Is it off-screen deaths?
It
PG-13.
was kind of cool, though. I mean, there was, one guy, he,
Says the N-word. Yeah, I remember.
What?
He says the N-word.
What?
That's the joke.
The
one guy...
Cool.
To escape
someone
the room.
dies. A couple people die. There's like 5 people who die. I don't remember how. I think one of them gets, like, crushed.
Cool.
Is there explosions and shit where they
No.
just don't have to show the blood?
No. They just cut away every time.
Rip. So it's kind of like
Someone dies of, like, inhaling poison gas.
what the fuck? Wait,
And then, at the end, the twist is that the escape room, all the people who were on it were people who survived tragedies. Like, the main character girl was in, like, a plane crash, and she was the only survivor. And rich people captured them all to bet on which survivor would be the most survivorist. And then she shoots them all.
I feel like that
But
was...
then, there's
that
a
was
second twist.
What?
They get on the plane at the end, and they're like, we're gonna go stop these people. And then the plane turns out to also be an escape room, and then it ends.
Sick.
I guess they're setting up for a sequel, but
That's
that ain't gonna happen.
That's the plot of something already. What was it?
A Final Destination.
It's...
Okay.
It's like Final Destination and Saw had a stupid baby.
Alright, didn't introduce our next film.
Do we have a next film?
What? Are we on the right call?
Oh, Crawl.
What
It's
the...
a movie about alligators.
I've literally never heard of Crawl before. What is Crawl?
I've never seen Crawl. Sam Raimi produced it because his protege made it, and I didn't want to see it because it looked like shit.
There's a giant hurricane in Florida,
Okay.
and this girl's dad is like, I need to go fix up my old house during this hurricane for some reason.
Okay.
And he goes into the crawl space, and then she goes to find him because he's not calling her back.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both in the crawl space, and then there's like 20-foot alligators in their crawl space, like 5 of them.
So the whole
And then
movie
they get
takes
out of the
place...
crawl space eventually.
The whole movie's the crawl space.
Yeah. They go, there's alligators.
Alright, next movie we have is Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Star Wars.
Personally,
I didn't see it.
if it was solely up to me,
Edited
Star Wars...
lightsaber fights. Facts.
I liked when they did the lightsabers.
I like when they ruined the trilogy.
Which one?
This one.
I don't think it was this one that ruined the trilogy.
You were
because
saying
the
it was-
Last Jedi happened.
Okay, but saying that it ruined it implies that it was good at some point, though.
Yeah.
Episode 7 was okay.
Well, it's all a disaster because
Was it? I didn't like
it's all a
episode
disaster
7.
because The Force Awakens set up all this shit. The Last Jedi threw it all out, and then The Rise of Skywalker basically had to be 3 movies in one because they just
Yeah.
had to retcon everything from the first 2.
right.
Rip.
It's a horrible disaster. If it was up to me, this movie would be bottom on the list just for reference.
For me,
Actually,
I thought
it would be above Hellboy.
It felt like Star Wars. It was the worst Star Wars movie that at least felt like Star Wars and had a plot, ish. Because The Last Jedi was 3 sets that they made us stare at for 2.5 hours just to force everyone to have a bad time. Because I think my theory is that Rian Johnson, as a meme, made The Last Jedi boring as fuck. And
I
just
think
had
his
us
idea
sit
was
there
to kill Star Wars, and he did a good job.
I would have
good
loved
job.
it if Star Wars had just ended. It should have.
And episode
6th
9 was J.J. Abrams
episode
trying
6.
to make 2 Star Wars movies in one. So he packed
Yeah,
all
it's
the
like 3.
plot in. Literally every plot hole I've heard that people are like, that never was explained in the movie. And watching the second time, everything was explained. But everything was explained at such a fucking breakneck pace that you can never tell what's going on. You forget stuff, because I'm like left the film the first time and I was like, there are like 15 plot holes. Then I watched it the second time, I'm like, oh, they actually answered that plot hole. The problem is it's in such passing. And the 2 new characters, Black Lady and Chrome Helmet Lady, they were pointless.
The Gold Troopers.
But it was okay.
You could literally just not watch The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker would make just as much sense.
I believe it.
Yeah.
You know, I
first
really...
two
Well,
movies
if
have
you really want, you can
literally
watch 7 and and 9, and then read the sentence, Luke Skywalker dies in 8, and everything makes sense.
You could skip 9 too, pretty much. There's nothing.
You could just not watch them.
Yeah, so you can skip the sequel trilogy.
Although I have to say, Force healing is the biggest bullshit Deus Ex Machina that anyone has ever made.
Who cares, dude? Luke
At
could
this
become a
point,
fucking clone.
Actually, there's so
clone
much
dude.
stuff that gets broken by this. Like, Force heal, why didn't Obi-Wan just heal Qui-Gon
Because
instead of letting
only
him die?
Luke Skywalker knew it and taught it to Rey and Kylo Ren.
When did he teach it shit to
This
Rey?
is some
Read the
Naruto
comic book
shit.
that's about to come out in 2 years.
Also,
when
in the
people complain
movie,
about the plot.
when Rey tries to throw her lightsaber into the fire, Ghost Luke catches it. So here's my question.
Well, if you read the comic
Here's my
book that's
question.
going to come
Oh,
out in
God.
3
Here's my
Why
years.
don't the ghosts just kill people then?
Exactly.
If they can interact
Why didn't
with
the whole
world?
Jedi Order teach themselves to be ghosts and then commit suicide and become invincible
It's that-
assassin
here's how
ninja
simple it
ghosts
is.
Yeah, what do you do about
assassin
ghosts?
squads?
Here's
No,
how
but
You
there's
simple
can't
it
do
is.
anything.
The
You
Sith-
just lose.
The Sith have powers to
Also,
attack
guys,
ghosts.
Also, if that worked the whole time, in Episode 6, when Luke was going against the Emperor,
Like-
why didn't Ghost Yoda and
Guys,
Ghost
not even
Obi-Wan
that.
show up
Guys,
and
What
just
about the
shot
Last
the Emperor
Jedi?
to pieces?
Guys,
He's doing
stop.
the Force thing.
Stop. If you guys watch
Also, how
the
did...
upcoming episode, Season 4, Episode 3 of The Mandalorian, it will explain that Force ghosts, they can hold lightsabers, cannot ignite lightsabers because it's against the code of the Force Jedi, the dead Jedis. That you can't do that. And
How
then
come
in a further
Disney has
including
run the
comic,
thing into the ground?
in the comic,
How did the
it's
Emperor
actually just
survive
an
getting
illusion, and
exploded?
it's
Because
actually
the Death
something
Star
rated.
just becomes like...
It's
It
all
fell out the escape
it's a
chute.
figment. It was actually the Emperor that did it.
It was just
And
mind
the
tricks.
Emperor, he was... So here's how... Well, they'll explain that. They left it open-ended so that once they make a comic to get the fans to shut up, they'll
Although,
explain
I'm
that
very
in
glad-
the comic, the Emperor actually was vaporized, but he transferred himself to a clone body of the Emperor,
Also,
which was
fucking
old and
stupid.
Does anyone
disfigured
else
when he
find
fought
the
the
incest in the
Mandalorian
movie
in Season
disturbing?
6 of the
Which
Mandalorian.
incest? What?
Okay, so here's the thing. Rey is Palpatine's granddaughter, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Palpatine accidentally created Anakin using the Force.
No, he did it on purpose.
That's the
Which
theory,
means he's...
though.
No, it's
That-
official. It's in one of the comics.
Yes, well,
So
it is.
Palpatine is Anakin's dad, which makes
Aiden, I'm gonna
Palpatine
cut you
Kylo's great-grandpa. Which
Okay.
means when Rey and Kylo make out at the end of the movie before he
Wait,
dies...
What?
Rey dies using Dragon Ball Z Kamehameha on Palpatine to kill him.
Okay.
And then Rey and Kylo make out, and Kylo transfers his life energy to her. But that's his aunt, dude. He's fucking his aunt.
No, actually, technically, they would be second cousins because he's Palpatine's granddaughter.
He's Palpatine's
and
great-grandson.
Oh yeah.
And she's Palpatine's
So it's like second
granddaughter.
aunt. But here's the thing: if you heard, so someone brought this up to a writer at Lucasfilm, and in a canon Twitter response, he said, despite previous evidence, it is not true that Palpatine created Anakin Skywalker.
Just Lucas
Because
count
the
pretty
phrases
much?
incest, Rey, and Kylo Ren were put in there, so they denied it adamantly. And since he's a
Okay.
writer for Lucasfilm, like J.K. Rowling, he can create new canon via Twitter. So even though George Lucas's intentions were that Anakin was created by Palpatine, because one fucking rando guy who watches the continuity and makes sure in the comics and there's no incest and whatever the hell, he says it's no. So that
there is
explains
one-
it and
Okay, hold on.
retroactively
So
makes
If
the
there
Rise
is
of
one
Skywalker
nice thing about
a
Rise of Skywalker, I
Ah.
like that Rose is only in it for like 4 seconds.
Rep. Okay, George Lucas
And for
came by.
those who are upset, I want to point out that the reason Rose was unable to make it in is because in a comic that takes place, that will come out in a couple of years, that takes place between Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi, it'll explain that Rose Tico actually
can't.
got
I
breast
can't do it.
cancer.
Also, you know
and
what's really
had a
weird?
tumor, so she couldn't fight
George
the Empire.
Lucas was like, I gotta put Rey in the movie.
When Leia dies of a broken heart or whatever the fuck happens,
She goes into space and then
No,
just
she doesn't.
explodes.
She dies because the magic comic. The Emperor was dead, and then she died for no reason.
yeah, who cares? But
Pretty much.
here's the thing:
And as they
the
will
rebels
explain-
didn't bury her; they just put her under a blanket and all stood around her body
Leia,
talking.
not Rey.
What?
It's so weird.
It's so they can do the shot of her becoming Force panties.
Because
I get that,
Carrie
but-
Fisher's fucking dead, Aiden. They can't do reshoots. They gotta work with what they got.
Yeah, they worked with what they got, and it looked fucking awful because it's so awkward.
Never underestimate a droid. Like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Ray's like talking. She's like, I have to go.
Whoops.
BB-8 was able to help me with something, and she said, never underestimate a droid.
It's just like another scene non sequitur because there's some scene they shot for episode 7.
She was really high on fucking like morphine.
Everything.
She was already dead by the time they started filming episode 9. They
filmed that shit before, obviously.
She also looks fuzzy, like a 480p,
like the end of Rogue
where
One.
Everything else looks like it's like perfect, like
she's like badly
crystal
cut out.
clear
There's
4K.
like still some green
masked.
pixelation around her head.
Yeah,
they didn't wipe away all the artifacts.
They didn't properly cut.
There was only so much they could do apparently, but what happened was there's one part and it's the most awkward scene ever. Cut to scene. Rey spouts 2 minutes of dialogue to Princess Leia. Princess Leia says no. Pause for a second. Pan cutaway. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
So what they should have done is reuse footage from Last Jedi, so have her just spaceship and then just blow her up and kill her.
How ironic is it that they got the 3 original main characters back and they killed the 2 that didn't die in real life? They're like, we're gonna hinge this whole trilogy on Leia, and then she croaked.
I mean, the idea from the start, I believe, was to have each one get its own movie and kill each one in each movie. The problem is, yes, unfortunately, it was a shoot of the dice. They all did a ton of drugs.
They were all old.
They were all old as fuck. One of them was bound to die.
Harrison Ford
got unlucky.
Harrison Ford had to get dragged out of retirement again.
He had one foot in the grave while he was filming.
I can't even imagine how much money he requested to be in Rise of Skywalker for 30 seconds.
He brought the coffin. He said, "This goes with me, no matter what."
Harrison Ford probably made $50 million to show up in Rise of Skywalker for 30 seconds.
They said, okay, who gets episode 7? Because I believe they had the idea of each one gets their own film. And they said, they hedged their bets and they said, reasonably speaking, Harrison Ford is most likely to die first. We better just put him first.
Fair enough.
You're halfway through shooting episode 8. Uh-oh, stinky. Harrison Ford dies.
Yeah, he's still alive.
What the fucking Princess Leia? Carrie Fisher dies.
Carrie Fisher's fucking dead.
Carrie Fisher dies.
Reminds me of that 4chan meme where
bummer, bro.
It came out right after
Carrie Fisher died.
Yeah, go on.
Let's move on. Yesterday. The next movie is Yesterday. I thought this movie absolutely sucked. I thought the guy's singing sucked. I thought the plot
It's
sucked.
a bunch of really bad Beatles covers sung by some Pooh and Lou who shits in the street. And then he gets the girl in the end and it sucks.
It was fucking horrible.
Oh, geez.
All right, anyways.
I mean,
moving on.
You act like that's racist, but the fact that the Indian government has to put out public notices telling people not to shit in the street or shit in the river that they get all their drinking water from.
And wash their clothes in and send their bodies down.
And bathe in.
Whoops.
Oops.
Oopsie.
Stinky.
You know, I saw a news article once about India.
Oh, no.
There was a shitting fields that everyone would shit in.
You're about to pull a James Gunn.
There was so much methane that it blew up and killed like 7 people. This isn't a joke. That's a real thing. That actually happened.
It's fucked up.
They pooped so much in a field that it blew up and killed them.
Moving on.
Introduce whatever that is. You were the only one who saw that.
Where are we?
Top right.
Lawn Shot.
Lawn Shot?
Lawn Shot. With Seth Rogen and what's-her-face.
Honestly, as a gay man, would you fuck Seth Rogen?
No. Not even for the money.
But you would fuck old man Elton
who's
John.
the girl in the movie?
For the money, yes. Fuck, I don't know.
Was she hot?
Yeah.
As a bisexual male, would you fuck her?
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go. But Lawn Shot was just a Seth Rogen...
Do you wish there was such thing?
Weed, man.
Dude, weed.
And then he fucks the president, the future president. She becomes president at the end. He gets basically the
What's
whole
her
plot.
tax policy?
I don't fucking know. Do you think they told us? They didn't. The whole movie.
Did she legalize marijuana?
Probably.
Nice.
The whole movie is just he's gonna date this politician and she's trying to be the president. At the end, she becomes president and they stay together. And then Seth Rogen goes.
Well, that sounds just horrible.
It was bad.
Speaking of horrible, Captain Marvel.
I didn't see that. What happened?
Let's see.
Captain Marvel takes
She's an
place
alien,
in the 90s.
but then she's a human, and she gets hit by a thing
she gets
that
abducted
makes
by
her an alien.
aliens.
She gets abducted by aliens. They make her forget everything. She remembers everything, and then she beats the patriarchy, and everyone
Well,
claps.
what happens is she thinks she's with the good guys, but they're really the bad guys, and then the poor innocent Skrull, fucking what do you call
The
those
tumblers?
refugees? Turn out to be good guys, so she kills the Kree, which is a twist because in the comics the Krees are the good guys, but apparently in one
It was
movie
her
Marvel
turn.
expects like we'll twist the comics so that people don't expect it, and one they just follow the comics and call that a twist. So
You know, I think I liked the movie, but the part where she kills the Russians who are trying to interfere with the election was a little out of place.
I like the part where they played "Smells Like Teen Spirit" because it's the 90s.
I like the part where she falls into the blockbuster because it's the 90s. Do you remember the 90s?
I like the part where
Oh, make it stop.
insert
Make it
another
stop.
90s
Just
reference
no.
because there's a lot.
Stop it.
Next up, I think this is the only I saw this one.
Yep,
Pet
that's true.
Cemetery. I
What, did
saw
we need
this
another
movie.
fucking remake of a King movie?
Do we need another King movie?
Do we need more King?
Not really.
Moving on.
Pet Cemetery was it.
How was it
It had
acted?
some intense spots that were
Didn't
okay.
they change the little dead baby into a little dead teenager because they were
Yes.
scared of
No, it
people
was still
getting
like a
upset about
3-year-old.
a dead
It was
baby?
more about, like, let's twist up
No.
the thing. Let's shake it up. Let's have her
it
die
was the
instead.
girl that died instead of the little boy. So it was a slightly older girl, but it was only like an 8-year-old instead of like
Does
a
it
5-year-old.
change anything?
No, it's just a twist so that people who read the book or saw the old movie are surprised
Nobody
slightly,
read it.
but it's still the same thing.
They want to know
The
that.
plot is effectively exactly the same. It doesn't matter if it's the girl that dies or the boy. The plot doesn't really change that much.
Now, don't go burying your children in that pet cemetery.
Moving on.
Don't go bringing your children back
Dark
to life in that
Phoenix.
pet.
Dark
Oh.
Phoenix. I didn't see. What's it about?
Dark Phoenix is a remake of X-Men: The Last Stand. But this time, it's on
Except
the lower
this time-
scale because they have no budget, and it was pretty shit.
The climax of the movie is Dark Phoenix and alien lady hugging in a parking lot.
Yeah, okay. I don't really remember the movie, so let's move on.
Where are we? Jesus is King? What's
Jesus is King is the brand new movie by Kanye West.
Oh,
Short
no.
movie.
No.
Let's see.
No. No.
How do I describe this movie? Basically what it is.
Is it a documentary?
No.
Documentary?
No, I wish it was a documentary.
It's a real movie. Acted.
No.
Sets?
No.
Lighting.
It's okay, here's what it is. It's 25 minutes long.
Okay.
You look at landscapes and listen to gospel music that has no Kanye West on it.
And then he says, "We was Kangs."
There's 20 minutes of it is landscape and gospel music. And then there's a 5-minute part where Kanye and a janitor sing Streetlights, but they don't do the hooks. They only do the hook. There's no verses. It's just they just sing the 3-line hook of Streetlights for like 7 minutes straight. So
it's
needless to
janitor.
say, it was one of the most pretentious things I've ever seen.
That's gonna
Although,
pick up on the mic.
the entertaining part,
Who goes next? I go
the
next.
entertaining part of it was,
Connor, your foot kick's gonna pick up on the mic.
the entertaining part of Jesus King was that,
Jesus King?
at the front of the theater, there was these old ladies.
Oh no.
Me and Isaiah went. So Isaiah's a theater manager, so me and Isaiah got in for free. There's these old ladies. It was in IMAX, so the tickets cost $15, so they spent $30 there. And they each had a large soda, they each had a large popcorn, they each had candy. So they probably spent $80 on this goddamn movie that was 25 minutes long. And at the end of the movie, they both stand up, and one of them looks at the other, and it's only been 25 minutes, and says, "Is that it? Where's Jesus?" And that was basically my experience with Jesus King.
So
Basically,
10 out of 10.
Oh boy.
next up is The Nun.
I didn't see this.
Who saw this? Why is it all
Did
these shit
anyone
you've
see this?
seen? It's like
Because
I
I'm
refuse to see
everyone
bullshit.
refused to see the horrible stuff with me, so I had to see it alone. The Nun is a movie in the Conjuring universe, and it's about an evil nun.
I already don't care.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
The end of the movie, she
Just
finds
hear yourself when you say the Conjuring universe.
she finds a bottle.
Annabelle.
She finds a bottle of Jesus' blood,
Jesus is king, yeah.
and she drinks
So
Jesus'
it's more of a
blood.
Jesus movie. Than Jesus
Yes, it is.
And
she,
then-
she drinks Jesus' blood and spits it in the face of the nun, and the nun explodes and falls in a whirlpool.
And then Kanye walks in and he says George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Kanye walks in and says, "Feels like street lights glowing."
The nun explodes. She gets sucked into the whirlpool, and then Kanye and the janitor come out and start sweeping up her blood.
And singing street lights.
Sing the hook to Streetlights while the
They
the
don't
gospel chorus
they don't-
claps in the back.
They don't say anything. It's the main characters of the Nun.
I'm
They're-
literally.
they don't say
Me and
anything.
Grant are both done. These are just movies Aiden gets to bitch about.
Yeah, what's the next?
Next movie is Hellboy.
Hellboy is the worst superhero
Who
movie
the fuck
ever
saw
made.
Hellboy?
I am probably the only person. That movie was a big flop. Here's what Hellboy is.
Just cut this part out.
No,
Cut to the
Hellboy
next.
is important because
Here's
Hellboy is
Hellboy.
the most confusing movie I've ever seen. Okay, here's the thing. So there's a witch
Uh-huh.
who's played by the bitch from the Resident Evil Girl
Go on.
movies, and she's cut into pieces,
Okay.
and she's spread across the world. And there's these pig people, and the pig people find her pieces, and they put her back together. And Hellboy's there, and Hellboy and his dad are doing something, and the witch lady, she summons Satan, and Satan does something. He starts killing people in London.
Is this Marvel or DC?
Neither.
Is it Zack Snyder?
It's Dark Horse.
And then Hellboy, he goes
Dark
to the
Horse
church.
does movies? I thought they were. comic
Hellboy
books.
goes to the church,
Yes.
and he
They
digs
do
underneath the
movies.
ground in the church, and he finds Excalibur.
They're making a Valiant cinematic universe.
And he uses Excalibur
Really?
to cut.
And Spawn is getting a movie.
He uses Excalibur to cut Satan's head off.
Okay. Black Christmas came out this year.
Black Christmas is the worst movie I've ever seen. I saw it 3 days ago.
We didn't see this either, did we?
No, what happened was... never mind, I can't really talk about that.
What the
but
fuck
Aiden
is
saw
Black
Black Christmas.
What was it about?
Black Christmas is a remake of Black Christmas, which is a ripoff of
All right,
Halloween.
thanks for watching this video.
But the idea behind the new Black Christmas, instead of just being a knockoff of Halloween,
Okay.
is that it's the most feminist movie ever made.
Oh.
Let's see. It's
Do you
about
hate women?
yes.
Okay.
It's about a dorm of college girls, and there's an annoying preachy black one there's a
She's going through
thing
transition.
at the school. There's like a statue. The guy who founded the school had a statue, and he was a racist, and he had slaves even though he lived in the North, and he raped women.
Oh God.
And so she gets his statue torn down,
Did you say same or sick?
and his statue has black goo in it that makes people evil because he was a racist.
What was the original about, Aiden? Was it about a slasher? Who just
It's
killed people
Halloween,
on
but it takes
Christmas?
place on Christmas.
Okay, why?
So anyway,
why is this?
we're getting to
getting
where this movie
complicated?
gets so awful. So there's this fraternity of boys who rape women. That's their whole
Nice.
thing. One of the first scenes in the movie,
Just like me.
the girl, the main character's friend, goes missing,
Okay.
and she goes into her room and she's getting raped.
I
And
can identify with
the
that.
guy
Not
stands
being
up,
Fuck is.
and the main character got raped by someone, but no one believed her.
Right.
And the
As
guy
you
who's
shouldn't believe
the
her.
guy who's in the process of raping a girl stands
Right.
up, and he's like, he turns to her and says, "You're a bitch for not letting me rape this girl, and also my friend wouldn't have raped you. You're a liar and a bitch." And then the teacher of the class, her teacher gives a lecture at the start of the movie, and his lecture, he reads a book, and the book is like, women are really stupid and should all be men's slaves.
What the fuck does this have
And
to do?
so they
I
get
can identify
they get
with
the
that.
statue, and they drink the black goo. The evil racist slave man made the black goo to possess men to kill women because the women were taking too much power and had the right to vote. And the gamers start to rise up because they're drinking the black goo.
And the cat
Because
drinks
they
the
live in
black
a
goo.
society.
Were you there when the cat started drinking the black goo?
I didn't sit through the credits. I couldn't take it. Something else happens too.
Who cares?
The black girl gets
No, why are you going?
the black girl and a bunch of other girls get bows and arrows, and they start running around like Katniss and shooting all the evil men. There was something else
in
that
the
happened.
dick, right?
I'm sure it happened at least once where someone's like, ugh,
My dick.
shot.
Was it directed by a woman?
Oh, now there's just
Oh,
a
right.
slit where my dick-
And then
Oh,
there's
God.
one part where one of the killers breaks into their house and kills 3 people.
Why are you doing this to us?
And then the black girl says we should go to the cops and get their help.
And the
And
cops are
the main
racist?
the main character says, the cops didn't believe me when I was raped. Why would they believe me when we say that we were murdered?
She had a
And
good
I was
point.
like, there's 3 bodies on your
weird.
floor of dead people.
And then she put on a
Basically-
police officer's outfit, and she said, "This is my job now."
The moral of
We
the
don't
story
need men.
is that men are evil and should be shot in the face with bow and arrows.
Was there a lesbian couple in the main cast?
No, that would have made it too good.
All right, I'm gonna do the outro for this. Wow.
What a great year for movies.
Stop.
This was terrible.
Stop.
What the fuck happened?
Stop. Okay, wait, one
I
second.
need to cough.
Wow. What another wonderful year. There were a lot of great, fantastic movies that came out. Just like on the Pizza Hut Wing Street podcast, we're going to give you 30 seconds to plug your weird hermaphrodite YouTube channel. I assume it's named that because if you guys don't know this already, Grant is
You're
not
wrong.
only a pedophile but half
You're
gay.
wrong about all
He's
this.
half gay, which means he likes
What?
he
And
likes
he's a
dick
herm-
and pussy, and he's a pedophile.
What?
But his YouTube channel is Grant the Hermaphrodite. So, all right,
Grant the
guys.
Hierophant. Watch me. I do a lot of shit. I don't know what I'm doing.
My
actually.
YouTube channel is Boy Lover 69.